Have you ever wondered why your healing, your clarity, and your light attracts people who orbit around you, but don't quite hold the same standards for themselves inside? How do you stay connected to truth so you don't bend or bleed for others who aren't standing in it themselves? Today, I want to talk about the orbit effect, something I've been observing in my personal life, and something I'm actively working on repairing. And as I process this and move towards more energetic sovereignty and healthy energetic boundaries around other people, especially those who are avoiding doing the work but trying to stand in my light and my truth that I've worked hard to cultivate, I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts on this. So basically, here's what happens. You do your work. You start heading out on your spiritual awakening journey. You become more self-aware, more attuned to your body. You become more powerful, more connected to your power. You become more honest, more embodied, more real. And then what happens? Suddenly, a lot of people get drawn to you. Yes, you'll probably repel certain people. You might push or eject people who had been orbiting around a less embodied previous version of you, but new people will come to you. Some people will meet you in truth. Your light, your embodiment, your work will attract people who are doing or have done the same. Those relationships will deepen. They will flourish. You will grow together. You'll inspire each other. But there are other people you'll find who will orbit you. Emphasis on the word orbit. They feel your light, they feel your energy, your embodiment, your truth, and they want to feed on it because they haven't cultivated any of it within themselves, so they want to extract from you. Here's why this happens. Your truth is truly, or acts as, a lighthouse. That's why we call it the light. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. It's my truth and your truth. Everyone has it, but a lot of people have their lights turned off or dimmed to conform to society or to live out who or how they think they're supposed to. And so they dim their inner light, their inner truth, in order to do so. But when we are connected in alignment, congruent with that inner truth, that inner light, it builds. That's where source energy is. That's where manifestation happens. That's where we can quantum leap and expand and grow into completely new, evolved ways of being. So there are certain people who will see the light, see your light, and will say, oh my gosh, I see your light. I remember mine. They'll realize you're a mirror for their own light. They see your light and they're like, I can do that too. I remember myself through you. Thank you. That's the ideal scenario. And in those cases, when you lift someone up or bring someone into truth with you, you evolve and expand together in such beautiful ways, and everyone's vibration rises, and it's gorgeous. But there are a lot of people who will say, the light feels really good. I like the light. And usually this is not conscious. It's almost never malicious. People will want to stand in your light or stand next to you and absorb or extract your light without actually fundamentally or internally changing themselves. So what they end up doing is orbiting around you, and then kind of, in order to do that, they're pulling you down, or they're requiring shrinking, contorting, all of that stuff that we don't want. And it can be extremely draining. This also makes me think of like energy vampires. It's pretty much the exact same thing. It's extractive, and it is not good for either person. This is how you lose your power in this scenario. So you don't automatically lose your power by someone orbiting you in your light. Because you can stand in your sovereign truth. You can know your boundaries and know where they stand and where you stand, and not let them in too much. When you try to explain yourself to these people who are not connected to their light, these people are not going to look at you and see your truth. They see and feel the effects of your light, but because they are not tapped into their own truth, they can't see yours very clearly for what it is. We're all like just mirrors for each other. We just perceive the world as how we're going to see it as a projection of our inner landscape. So if you are connected to truth, but you're still seeking validation, you're outsourcing your power to these really foggy mirrors, basically. And you're looking at these people and saying, you can't see me for my truth. Well, then there must be something wrong with me. Maybe I'm too much. Maybe whatever it is, whatever they're projecting onto you, you might start to question your gifts. You might start to question your perception, your power, all of these things. And this is where it gets messy. I think even if you're not someone who is looking for validation from others, even if you hold space for people who aren't rising to their truth for too long, you're holding space for people who are half in, who are avoidant, who are not rising with you, who are choosing containment and safety and familiarity over expansion and truth. If they're choosing that path, you're holding space for them to stay the same, which again is extractive. They are benefiting from your light, not long term, but they're held in that space where you're essentially enabling to them to stay there at the cost of your own energy and sovereignty. Now let me make something clear. Good, heart-led people do this. We are the most prone to this probably because we see people who get stuck looping in these kinds of patterns and we're like, I was there once. I remember what that's like and I feel your pain. So let me share my light with you. No. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game. You can have compassion for other people who are looping in their karma and in their baggage and all that stuff without holding space for them. You can say, I've been there and I know what that's like and I know it's hard. And you can offer feedback with boundaries if you want, but you are under no obligation to hold space for people who are not going to match you or meet you in truth. I'm always going to give people a chance to meet me, but I'm also going to actively test, are you standing in truth with me or are you still clinging to illusions and looping the same old story? Because if you are, I honor the light in you, but I'm not seeing you connected to it. So I'm gonna withdraw. I'm gonna create some clear energetic boundaries, and I trust that you'll know how and where to find me when you do want to rise to meet me. That's tough love. The truth is, the right people are going to be drawn to my light and are going to be inspired and, like I said, remember themselves through it. The wrong people are on a different timeline. They're on a different schedule. Not my responsibility. The ego wants to come in and say, they came to me because I'm supposed to. No. They came to you for you to have the lesson. This is how we build sovereignty or achieve sovereignty. Here's how to hold your field without closing your heart, because I think the response can be, I'm just going to guard up now. But that's not what we want either, because we don't want to close off. We want to stay open to possibility, to new connections, to the right connections. So there is a way to do this without guarding up and closing our hearts. Healing and truth do not mean overexposure. So your job is to keep your field clean, aka address and reduce any lingering attachments or illusions that come up in your field. And this will also help you know, this is my field. This is where I am. I end, and then everything else, everyone else is out there. This is my stuff though. That way you can be really, really, really clear on like, oh, I feel a part of my field getting nibbled on, getting siphoned by someone or people who are not tending to their own fire. Also, yeah, becoming really clear on the difference between those who can stand in truth with you and those who just want the benefits without actually doing the work. They're gonna say, thank you for seeing me. It feels so good to be seen. This feels so real and good, but disappear as soon as the connection requires mutuality. On the other hand, a real match is going to scream, I'm doing the work too. We're in this together. And they're gonna be there. They're gonna show up in the real moments. They're gonna own their stuff. That's how you're gonna know. It's never going to feel extractive because they're gonna be carrying the weight of the relationship with you. They're gonna be carrying their own baggage instead of expecting you to hold space for it while they kind of deny it to themselves or try to avoid actually doing anything about it. But again, that's their problem, not yours. And finally, the last thing is, and this probably comes first, this is like the foundational layer, is staying rooted in your own nervous system and staying regulated. You can be endlessly warm and compassionate for other people in the world if you are rooted in your core. If you know who you are, you stand in your truth, and you have clear boundaries for yourself, you will never have any issues. You can be as warm as you want because you're going to be the one in control of who gets past those boundaries. Doesn't mean you're going to be closed off. It just means I know who I am. No one can argue or negotiate anything if you know who you are and you're congruent with that truth. Plus, when you are truly in alignment with your truth, you'll never feel the need to explain yourself. When I was younger and I was not aligned, that's when I really felt the need to always explain myself and justify my actions. It's because I truly was not aligned. I was not congruent. I was not connected in my center. And the more and more and more I really become embodied and connected to my truth, I don't need to say a word. Energetically, it speaks for itself. That alone will keep people out. The orbiters just orbiting, and it won't destabilize me. So just making sure you're not lowering your standards, you're not questioning your perception of things, or over explaining or apologizing. Know your truth, stay regulated, stay rooted. So here are a couple things that can happen when you hold your field. Some people will fall away. It's the truth. I'm sorry to say, there are people who are going to fall away, and that is not a loss. That's what we call a filter. Let that stuff go. Anything that's in true resonance with you and your truth is going to stick around. So just trust that. I know it can be painful. I know for me, it can definitely trigger old wounds that often have nothing to do with the relationship of the person themselves, but the pattern of me feeling like I'm too much or that it says something about me. No. What it says is I am standing in integrity and truth, and not everyone else can do the same themselves. And those people can go, period. Some people, though, will come back later on, matured, more self-aware, more embodied, or they won't. But either way, your truth will see the next layer of their evolution. So you can feel good and proud in knowing that you and your integrity and your alignment was catalytic for those people who were filtered out. Even if you can't see it, even if you'll never get that physical confirmation, you can know it's true. And when you can hold the field, you just simply will not chase orbiters, because you'll realize you're just going to go in circles with them because that's what they're doing. You, my friend, will just simply stand as the lighthouse. Let them be the moth. Let them circle around you for as long as they need until they look in the mirror and wake up themselves. So when you stand in your truth and you don't close your heart, you clarify your field. And those who want to feel the warmth of the fire will do the work for themselves to meet you there in it. And those who don't will orbit until they're ready. But your light will stay clear either way. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below. Let me know when you've noticed this phenomenon happen in your life. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.